Hello, hello, hello. Subscribe. Hit the like button and the bell. Get your notification. Nubian King again from Israel, Northeast Africa. And what I'm thinking about today to talk to you about is preparation. Being prepared for the worst and hoping for the best. Have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Don't take it for granted. Be ready. Don't let it sneak up on you. Be prepared for it. What am I talking about? What am I going to talk to you about? I'm going to talk to you about being prepared because of the conversation and what I see the world evil leaders are doing. Do you all know they're having three major meetings at the same time? Davos, the World Economic Forum, which is the cover for the planning for the one world government headed up by Klaus Schwab. And don't forget, his chief advisor is a Jewish boy named Yuval. So the Jews is behind the philosophy and doctrine of what they're planning with this one world government. And at the same time, they're having another meeting. I think it was oh wow, you know what? I'm sorry. Slipped my mind. I heard about it this morning as I was getting ready to come to work, but I'm going to tell you about it. But they having three major meetings at the same time, and they're moving fast because their objective is to create this one world government, depopulate the planet Earth down to what they say 1 billion people. So they're talking about killing billions and billions of people. And you got those individuals out there like Bill Gates and Fauci, Klaus Schwab, and George Soros. Those are some of the names that you hear at the top of the list. But they got a whole lot of wealthy people, politicians, world leaders, all in on that plan. See, they want to make it a situation where they are permanently the rulers of planet Earth. They wiping out the whole God concept. That boy Yuval, the Jewish boy, he the one that was telling him, he said, what's this God in the sky? What's this soul? All this, self-will and, you know what I'm saying? He said, oh, that's over with. That's finished. That God in the sky and free will and all of that. He said, we have through science and technology the ability to control all of that, and we will. So when you look at what's taking place and the plans that some of these people, there was a book that Klaus Schwab wrote 20 years ago called The Great Reset. And it lays out what these people are thinking, their plans, and what they want to do. Now, here's the point that I'm making. The things that we're hearing about their plans and their goals, what they're trying to accomplish, if half of it was not real, only 50% of what they're talking about is actually real and true, then that's worth us being prepared for the worst. And what is the worst? When the food supply run out, and you see that taking place right now. You can go to the stores and you see certain items missing off the shelves right now, today. You can see that. And it's predicted to get worse. You're talking about baby formula. It's like, in my mind, because I'm from that other generation before this one, everybody, basically, all the women, all the sisters breastfed their children. There wasn't no need for baby formula. But then as time went on, when my sister grew up and had a baby, it was Similac, some formula. And all these girls in my family were big-breasted sisters. They had breasts. Everybody in the family could get some milk. These was big breasts. My mother, my aunts, my sisters, everybody, big-breasted girl. So it wasn't no shortage on milk, But, it's like when my sister had her babies, then I started seeing cans of Similac pop up in the refrigerator. Similac? What the hell is that? And then I started seeing problems in the babies, mucus and can't breathe and all kind of shit like that. Got to take them to the hospital. That's Similac. Number chemicals. The breastfed baby, I've read that from the time the child is born all the way out to 6 months, there's virtually no disease, no bacteria, no nothing can, attack that child because of the immune system is super, super strong. And breastfeeding the child also enhances the growth and development, the brain cell, the blood cell, the muscle skin, causing the baby to grow and develop to its full potential. And then they came out with Similac. Okay? Similac. Then they start making breastfeeding the baby something to be, looked down on. Ooh, you breastfeeding your baby. The way this bandit worked, he'll either make something, look bad and cause you to shun it with so much negative publicity. Oh, you breastfeeding your baby and you shouldn't do that. And that's not, all these negative connotations they speak about breastfeeding your baby, all in public, and then most of those women will have either a baby diaper laid over them or some covering, and you couldn't see the breast. But still, they was pitching a fit behind women breastfeeding. Okay, made you embarrassed to breastfeed your baby. But that was the created best way to feed that child. You can't make no milk. You can't make no formula. You can make nothing better than the milk of the mother. But then they turn around and tell you cow milk is good for you. Now, let me show you something real simple. Have you ever seen a cow? Sucking a woman's breast for its milk? A calf, not a cow, a calf, a baby calf. A baby cow is a calf. Have you ever seen a calf sucking on a woman's breast for its milk? Hell no. How many times have you seen a baby from a woman, a human, sucking on the nipple of a cow's breast? Every day. What do you mean? You ain't never seen that? No, because you're drinking the milk from the cow. That's full of pus and all type of bacteria and everything else that you don't even know. And it's causing all type of problems. But they tell you to drink milk to strengthen your bones. You know what? The government leadership of this world, especially out of the West in America, are so exceedingly wicked and evil and corrupt. It's beyond comprehension. They will ratchet up a theory, ratchet up a dialogue, ratchet up a thought process because it's something they're working on. So when they tell you that breastfeeding is not, good, and then they'll tell you all these studies have shown that breastfed baby break down the immune system, any kind of lie. They drive any kind of lie to discourage you from doing something. And what they're working on is the discouragement of breastfeeding your child. Why? Because they want to sell you this formula that the formula itself is actually not really healthy for the child. But they want to sell it to you. Okay? So they tell you the negative side about breastfeeding. Same way with bottled water. What do? They come out telling you that drinking water out of the pipe is not healthy. It has all type of metals and this and that. So you sitting there, eyes big, listen to the TV, the experts, the scientists, studies have shown, and now you just run to the store and start buying bottled water And then you come to find out it's the same damn water that they getting out of the tap, just like you was getting out of the tap. You don't have to pay extra for it. They done put it in a nice bottle, make you think that they done got it from somewhere, some stream or whatever, and you buying the water that you used to drink out of the pipes in your house. That's the lie that they done told you. And so now we talking about a potential breakdown of the food supply on planet Earth for the people. This is the chatter, the noise, the conversation that they're talking about behind closed doors. This is what they're talking about. The breakdown of the food supply on planet Earth. And they're looking at starvation. This is what they're talking about. Starving people to death because they want to kill billions of people that they claim are useless eaters. You know, that's a lot of damn nerve for some heathen to sit up just cause they got a pocket full of money. You don't know no more than the next mug sitting over there. You know what I'm saying? It's just that because you got a lot of money, people listen to you. And see, that's that whole mystique and that whole psyche about, that comes with being super wealth on this planet. People will listen to you. They listen to you because they want to be like you. That's the whole psyche. And those people know it. All these broke jokers running around will sit up and listen to a dude like Bill Gates, you know what I'm saying, and Schwab and all these heathen with a whole lot of money just because they got the money. I listened to Bill Gates yesterday, and this dude was sitting up there talking like he's a daggone virologist, doctor. He's like this nigga done, talking all this about viruses. Dude, shut the hell up. You can't even keep a damn virus out of a program that you wrote. Figure out how to keep viruses out of Microsoft software. That's what you figure out. No, he's sitting up. Why? Because he donated so much money. He put so much money in the WHO, the World Health Organization, that now he get a voice. And that's all he wanted. Now they listen to him. He done took over the damn World Health Organization. And y'all remember, you have to remember, that devil said the best investment he ever made was in vaccine. So they play to win. They don't play, they stack the deck in their favor. And so if he done invested all this money into that, then he has to go and figure out how to get that shit sold. Right? So now you look up, they talking about the breast milk formula, but at the same time, your president is sending formula out of the damn country. But, whoa, come to the rescue, Bill Gates. What does he do? He invests millions of dollars into this company to make artificial milk that's supposed to be like breast milk. It's a deep thing, man. I don't even know if y'all don't heard about it yet, because I don't be listening to CNN and MSNBC as my source of news. I go out in them back channels where people are really talking. They not on them government controlled servers, so they get to say what they want to say. And man, these jokers got some dastardly plans that they coming out on the human population about. And it's a sad state of affairs because so many humans are just completely, totally not aware of what they're planning. And some people, it's just so overwhelming and mind-boggling that they just don't want to hear about it. They'll rather just go on about their lives totally unaware of what these plans are and why they doing it, you know what I'm saying? And just get caught completely off guard. Sitting up in the house, electricity going out, and you messed up real bad because ain't no electricity. It's hot, no air conditioning, no fans. It's hot, no refrigeration. Food in the refrigerator spoiling. No electricity. Cell phone batteries going out. No electricity, no water coming in the pipes because there's no electricity to run the pumps to push the water out there to you. So you have no water. No food. It's been slowly disappearing off the food off the shelves in the store. No land to grow nothing on. Even if you did have some land to grow something on, the dirt, the topsoil, they said years ago was so daggone depleted of basic minerals and substance that would sustain plants that you have to add fertilizer in it. They destroyed that topsoil years ago. And then there's so much topsoil that America has lost that you got to have fertilizer now because they done destroyed so much. So when you think about it, you can see that this heathen that came out of the rock piles of Europe since the first day has done nothing but destroy all across the globe, until where now this entire human population has been under a barbaric intellect. You see all this trafficking stuff out here every single day, and they say this is civilization. Yeah, it's civilization, but it's civilization under a barbaric mentality. This is not intelligence right here. Now, he'll stand up and claim and boast, we this, we intelligent, all this is civilization, and Africans is running around in Africa like monkeys. But Africans running around in Africa before all this here was cooled out. You know what I'm saying? Stress less. I've lived in Africa and loved it. Closest to nature, the food grew right there. You want something to eat, you walk right over there and snatch it off that tree or pull it off the vine, eat it, or take it in the house, fix it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? No chemicals. That stuff been growing out there, don't nobody know how long. Thousands of years, millions of years, I don't know. But then the caveman come out of the rock piles of Europe, tell the African, you can't grow your food to seed no more and plant your garden from the seed you grew the previous season. What? Monsanto. What? Now they go and make a law across Africa that these sisters and farmers that's been growing food, you can't grow your food into seed anymore. I listened to this interview they did with this sister. She was explaining, she said, what we do, you see this field? Okay, that whole section over there is for seed. We grow that into seed. We don't, harvest it. We let it grow into seed. And when the seed come, we take the seeds and save them for the next planting season. We've been doing that for so long, I don't even know. My mother taught me, and I was there with my grandmothers. We used to grow, and my grandmother said her mother, which is my great-grandmother, and she said, we've been doing this for so many generations. I don't know how long we've been doing this. But we've never had to buy any seeds. We never had a problem with disease, not having enough food, none of that. And now, she said some white man came and told them that they can't do that anymore. It's illegal. She said some white man just walked up here one day and said that to us. So we went down to the government office of agriculture, the minister of agriculture. He said, yeah, that's true. You can't do that anymore. And they was like, why not? And he couldn't give them any intelligent answer. Because why? The white man came in there and paid money to the government officials to allow them to do that. Because they are trying, these heathen, Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab and all these cronies, the globalists, they want to take control of entire planet Earth, food, resources, everything. And they control every single thing, not for the benefit of the people. Because if these heathens sitting up talking about killing billions of people through starvation, medical issues, and all these other type methods, they want to kill so many people, then it's imperative that we do as much as we can to protect ourselves from that. And the first way that we begin to protect ourselves is we have to educate ourselves and make us knowledgeable of what their plans are. Now, again, if half of what we're talking about is true and the other half is not, then the half that's true is worth you taking action. And that's what I'm saying now, that what's taking place is concerning enough that we begin to take action. What type of action I'm talking about? Okay, now, food and water is going to be the number one resource that we need to deal with. Food and water, then shelter. Okay, so if it's the summertime, you just basically need to stay cool, all right? Celery juice, right? The juice of celery it helps you to mitigate heat. When we was operating in the desert, we was out there, okay, Egypt, then right up next to Egypt is the eastern shore of the Sahara Desert. So we was in Egypt. We went out of Egypt right over into the Sahara, right? And we learned that celery juice helps you to mitigate that heat, because that celery juice, it gives you incredible potent natural iodine. All right, now dehydration is when you lose so much percentage of the water in the body. All right, now once you lose 5% of your water, you start experiencing a decrease in energy. It can be subtle in the beginning, but as time go on and you don't rehydrate, you'll feel it. And depending on some people physiology, their bodies, the way their bodies operate, you can start out with dizziness, spots in your eyes, headache, fainting, all that kind of stuff, because you're going into dehydration. Then when they get to a certain point where you really messed up, it's not only just the loss of water, but it's the loss of electrolyte minerals that you done sweated out and not replaced. And that's where you're going to have a serious condition. I remember one of the brothers had severe dehydration, and he passed out. Mucus ran out of his mouth, his nose. He was shaking, his body was lost. Thought we was going to lose him. But when we had with us some doctors that was into natural healing and everything. So what they did, they pump old boy full of celery juice and spirulina. In no time, he started settling down, and then it was a celery juice mixed with spirulina, and they fed it to him little by little. Shoot, man, in about an hour, old boy started settling down. He opened his eyes, came back. It was the loss of minerals and electrolytes. So that celery juice brought him back, and that spirulina with all that iodine and chlorophyll saved him. Okay? So you must be able to feed yourself when the food runs absolutely out. And remember, that is going to be devastating to a lot of people, because do you know there's a whole generation or two of children that do not have a clue as to where food comes from? If you ask them babies, where does apple come from? They'll say the store. It's okay. Where does chicken come from? The store, because they go to the store and they buy everything, right? That's far as it goes. Now you get home, there's a chicken, there's apple, fruit, and everything. They ask you, you ask them babies where it come from. They say the store. Okay, I'm saying, where does it come from before the store? Then they look like, what? What are you talking about? They don't have a clue that stuff come out the ground. That chicken comes from eggs and born and hatched and fed and lay other eggs. Because this is the techno-synthetic society that these babies are born in. Now they got robots looking like human. They done got them to a point now where a few more days, you won't even know if you sit down talking to a robot. So self-preservation, being prepared, is going to be key now. Another point, for those of you all that may have a grandmother that know about canning, how to can food, or an aunt or an elder or somebody, shit, I think they teach how to can on YouTube now. It's time to get them mason jars if you can find them. I remember back in the day, mason jars was everywhere. The jars with the little metal top that the centerpiece came out and had a piece of rubber. Okay, and then I used to can with my grandmother and mother. We would make those peach preserve. Man, she had boiled a peach, and I asked her why. She said she boiled them to get all the bacteria out, to make sure they were pure and no bacteria. And so when they cooled, we used to dip them in the mason jar, and we used to sit the mason jars in a bowl, and we would fill the mason jar up all the way till it ran over. Then she would put that little silver top on it, and then screw the top on it. And I said, Grandmama, why you fill it up so much? She said, because you want it to be full as possible, so the chance of air being in there is not, because the air will help feed the bacteria, and she said the bacteria grow and spoil food. So you put it in there hot as it can after it boils and seal it up, and then she would take this and rinse it, the lid under cool water, and it was ready. Then I would take the little towel after she rinsed it off and everything, washed it, dry it off, we sit it on the shelf. Them cans would stay up there. And I remember winter time, months later, next year, whenever, if we wanted some preserves or something, she did greens, corn, everything. Just about everything she cooked, a certain portion of it she would can. And I worked with her canning it, because, you know, a little bitty guy, it was interesting to me. And so now, that'll be to save your life. Okay, so you don't have certain food in the store. Listen, you're in a crisis situation. All of that stuff you used to eating, look, now it's about not starving. So no, you ain't gonna have all those choices, but one jar of that food gonna be enough to fill you up, make you comfortable, keep you from being hungry. And then most of the time, you're gonna can nutritionist food that's gonna give you nutrition to keep you pumped up. You understand? So canning food. The next thing is dehydrator. Okay, now you got those MREs, what they call meal ready to eat. I ain't gonna kill. I am not kidding you. Them joints is expensive, man. I was looking online the other day about the MRE, and I shazam, 700, 800, 500, 600. Man, you know I can take $700 in a dehydrator, and I'll have so much food. Shit, I have enough food for 25 years dehydrated. And so I was talking with a friend of mine yesterday, giving some ideas, and we both were talking about how expensive the MREs was. I said, well, why mess around with MREs? And all you got to do is dehydrate stuff. You got to dehydrate it? No. Okay, you got an air fryer. Because, okay, you can dehydrate food at 100 degrees. And then you can turn your air fryer down. It'll be a small amount and leave it in there, like, I think it said 24 hours. It depends. You know, you can get the chart, and you can learn how to dehydrate food. If you get a dehydrator, 5 shell, 12 shell, 3 shell, and you can just start dehydrating food. Okay, and then check this out. Once you get the food dehydrated, they sell in Amazon those little devices that, you know how it suck the air out and then melt it closed. It's like a hermeneutical seal. I forget the name of it, but I know it when I'm talking about. Oh, you know, it's like when you laminate your driver's license. You know, they send it through this thing. It's a little warm. They send it through there, and it can like melt the ends of the driver's license, and then it's like hermeneutically sealed in plastic. That same type thing. So once you got your food dehydrated, now you want to put it in some plastic and seal it up like that. Kaboom. That dehydrated food, what that dehydration does, it takes all moisture out of the food content. That way, no bacteria and nothing can be alive in there. It's just the food. And you can do nuts like that, kale green, different type food items. You can go online and study and look up. And so you have your dehydrated foods, your canned goods, and up 6, 7, 500, whatever, all this money they're talking about, the MREs. And then you have to consider those MRE meals are for, like, okay, veteran soldiers and stuff like that. So when you out on the battlefield, they're trying to get you as many calories and much energy as you possibly can, because you may not have a chance to sit down and just eat. So some of those MREs, they got a lot of different ingredients in there that you might not want to deal with. So you have to check the ingredient list for your style of dieting, the way you eat, and see if that's something that you even want to deal with. Okay, you can take nuts. You know, you can cashew nuts dehydrated and seasoned, man. It's off the chain. Make you eat your head off. Ooh, they so good. And so, you know, you ain't got to miss nothing. Your favorite food, you can dehydrate it. All right, you can can that stuff. You have so much food. I remember I saw this couple that part of the prepper community. You know, they doomsday scenario, getting ready for when everything fall apart. They had a doggone 25-year supply of food in their cellar. It looked like a grocery store down there. Man, and they're gonna live underground in case the nuclear explosion and all this other stuff. Shit, man, I said, you know what? I really hope don't none of that ever happen, because it'll be a terrible thing, man, if you got to go down in your bunker and live down there for 5-10 years because of radiation, and you down there with your family. I mean, it's a well thought out, well planned bunker where you got the sewage system and the water and the air. You know, you lay it out. But it's just the fact you down there, you know. I've seen some multimillionaire bunkers, interior design, and whoo, some of them places is incredible. I mean, really, they are laid out beyond imagination. And if you need to be somewhere, that'll be somewhere to be. You know what I'm saying? So far as the water now, you have to get with people that know how to purify water, filter water, and you have folks that out there that know, you know, sources of water, because it's going to be about food, water, and shelter. If it happened in the wintertime, you got to be able to keep yourself warm. And if your source of warmth and heat have been dependent on electricity, those central heating and air unit, you don't have any electricity now, but it's cold. Now what you do? See, all these type things, it'll be best. Now, the thing about America, it'll be best to plan and get some contingencies in order now for these type scenarios if they take place. Be ready. The thing about America, so far as the bomb, do you know America do not have bomb and fallout shelter for the citizens? You never thought of that. The United States of America have not put in place bomb fallout shelters for its citizens. Russia have them everywhere. Israel got them everywhere. Think about that. I mean, if something do jump off in the United States of America, the citizens will be ass out. But I guarantee you, the government people, they good. You remember back in the day, you used to see those yellow and black round symbols, radiation fallout shelter, but that was just in the government building. What about you and your family? If you don't have a fallout shelter, bomb shelter in your house, you're going to be what they call ass out if that level of action take place. Think about it. It will seem like your government looking out for you too tough. But it's your brother Nubian King pointing these things out to you. You need to consider. Next point, cigarettes. I've mentioned this before to some people, and they was kind of like, Shazam. Cigarettes, nicotine fit. Don't have cigarette. Now you have a nicotine fit, and you're going through withdrawals because you don't realize you was addicted to this, all these chemicals in the cigarettes that you was smoking, thinking you looking cool and fashionable, and you smoking your little thin cigarette trying to look cute, but the fact is you still smoking, inhaling these chemicals. Now the shit done hit the fan, and the trucks ain't coming to bring the cigarettes to the little stores or places you normally buy your cigarette, and now all the cigarettes are out. They've been sold out. They don't have no cigarette. Did it ever occur to you the magnitude of millions and millions of people not being able to get a cigarette? You ever seen people with having a nicotine fit? I've seen a few. It ain't pretty. They are totally unfunctionable. They can't think, they itching, they scratching, they're nervous, they fidgety, can't focus. I mean, just be in a total shit. They're having a nicotine fit. And they gotta have that cigarette. Think about that now. The itch done hit the fan, no cigarettes, people running around. I ain't talking about thousands, but millions of cigarette smokers. It's gonna be crazy. Weapons, self-defense. Yeah, you're gonna need it. Surely, yeah, buddy, because here you sitting up, you prepared, you locked and loaded, and for whatever reason, you open your mouth and your friends and people and other folks found out through you talking too damn much that you got all this food canned up, you ready and everything, and now these ding dong never took nothing serious. They ain't got nothing, but they hungry, and they know you got all this food, and the shit done hit the fan. It's pandemonium. People run around hungry and thirsty and what they call ass out. Now they done found. Now they remember. Oh yeah, Mac, he got all this food. Let's go get some. And they happen to have guns and you don't. You just did good with your cannon and your dehydrated. You got a lot of food stacked up, but you don't have no weapons. They show up with weapons. Guess who's gonna eat? And they might not leave you nothing because they desperate. You know what I'm saying? People is desperate, trying to stay alive. That's just like a drowning person. When we was being trained how to save people, first thing they said is when a person is drowning, and when you become aware that they're drowning, that's after they have become aware first that they're drowning, and they have moved into a state of fear. In that state of fear, their strength increases tenfold, which means that they're fighting the water and trying to stay up above to get the air. Under no circumstances do you go near them people. When they realize in their mind that they are drowning, their fear is going to cause their strength to increase tenfold. They will be as strong as 10 men. And don't you dare go near them. And so I never forget that lesson that day, because if the person drowning and they are aware they drowning, don't you need to dash out there and help save them? Hell no. Why? The point that you need to hear is that their fear has made them as strong as 10 men. And if you jump your butt out there trying to save them, they're going to grab you with a grip of 10 men and trying to get their head up to the air, will push you down in the water and will be holding you and will drown you along with them. So what is the first thing you do in the process of saving people? Don't jump your butt out there. Let them fight that water. It ain't gonna be no time that they're gonna lose their strength. And you'll see them they'll fight and they'll fight and keep their head above water a bit. Then they're gonna dip one time, then they pop back up, dip a couple times. When they dip, you don't see them pop back up, they done lost their strength. Now you go out there, they limp. You roll on out there and bring them back to safety. But you have to allow them to fight their energy off. Right? So, same scenario. The itch done hit the fan. People walking around desperate, scared. They ain't got nothing to eat. The family all jacked up, with hunger. And you got all the food. And they coming. Eyes big, thirsty, hungry, mad out their mind, and they got guns. Now what you gonna do? You ain't got no guns. Oh, you don't like guns. I don't like guns. Okay, keep not liking guns and see what happens. Can all your food up for somebody else with the gun. I'm trying to tell the people, man. I'm sitting in the meeting and everybody talking about, we need to get land for when the food, we need to get back. And then in the last person, I don't say nothing. And I speak the last, deliberately wanted to wait until everybody finished talking. All these grand ideas about getting the land and growing the food and yada, yada, yada for our families. Ooh, it sounds so good. And then when they finished, just before they closed the meeting, I raised my hand. Yeah, bro, you got something to say? Yeah. I said, how many of y'all got weapons in here? What? How many of y'all got guns? Why? I say, because once y'all grow all this food and y'all talking about when the shit hit the fan, we'll be able to feed our families. I said, bro, don't you all realize that if you grow all that food, our family ain't gonna be the only one hungry. it's going to be other people family hungry too. And those other people, what if they have guns and you all sitting here with no gun with all this food in the field? You think they're going to let their family be hungry and y'all got all this food in the field? I said, who going to eat? The man with the gun. Because he coming desperate, wide eyes, panic mode, wife at the house, children, don't know what his situation is, but he got a gun in your face telling you to give me this food. And ain't none of y'all got no weapons to defend yourself. Only thing I see y'all getting ready to do is grow some food for the man with the gun. Oh, they ain't like me, cause I messed up their little excitement. They was all high and hoop hoop, yeah, all this shit. You better be real, dog, cause your family, our family ain't gonna be the only one hungry. Let's look at this thing in truth, in reality. Your family, my family, we ain't gonna be the only one hungry, partner. But now all of a sudden these people don't eat. Shit, they eat good. They better ain't gonna be coming for your food with their gun. See, these type of realities, man, scenarios that you have to go over and make you some plans on how you're gonna deal with them. And that's what we're talking about. See, this chatter about this coming world crisis is getting so loud that now it's motivated me into talking about, okay, well, let's start stacking up certain canned good items. Let's start considering, canning and dehydrating food and getting things situated that you don't want to get caught with your pants down. It's the bottom line, And if you want to know what type of information services I use, I glean information from, I go to places like Getter, Gettr, band.video, band.tv, Telegram, CSUN Share, and a few others. None of these sits on servers that the U.S. government can control. The Facebook, the WhatsApp, the YouTube, Instagram, none of that. A lot of people, billions of people over there, but you can't say nothing. You can make a statement about somebody that ain't, cool, and they'll give you a little, is that what you really want to say? You sure you want to say community guidelines and all this shit? Do you really want to say that? I mean, it was just a statement against the people that was doing some dumb stuff, and you called them out. Now here comes social media security. Do you really want to say that? Hell yeah! I mean, I took time to type it. Shit, you think I'm sitting here typing all these keys? Cause yeah, I want to say it. But see, these other platforms, you could talk about everything you want, medically, social, politically, everything. Ain't nobody seeing no message, no warning, or shutting you down. And so over there, you get to hear some stuff, man. There's some people around here know some stuff, seriously. And see, it's like, what are you gonna do? You gonna sit up and just keep your head stuck in a hole and you don't want to hear it? Or you gonna listen and say, Now if half of what they talking about is true and the other half is not, that half that's true is worth me doing something. That's all I'm saying. That's it. Be prepared, have it and not need it, than to need it and not have it. And I'm saying these things to you because I love you. I love you a lot. I love you from the basement of my heart way up to the attic of my mind. That's a whole lot. And how much do I love you? Hey, how long? I love you 24/7. That means I love you all the time. Shalom.